Hey, how are you? How you feeling? Here we go again. I'm the Dr. Bob Lee, and I'm your host, and you're watching Open. It's a live interactive program that brings the Bronx and New York City straight to your TV set. You can stay connected to us through social media at BronxNet TV. Leading things off, our first guest is the Executive Director of Mercy Center, and he joins us to speak about the services his organization has offered to women and their families in the South Bronx. So please welcome to the show, Steve Stritch. Welcome, Steve.
Hi, Dr. Bob. Thanks very much for this opportunity to talk about Mercy Center. It's always great to share the good works, that we're able to do for the Bronx, which we've actually been doing for 30 years. Mercy Center started 30 years ago by one sister, Mercy, who actually worked in a school right down the street from where our main site is now on 145th Street in the South Bronx. And so she worked there as a social worker, working with the parents of the students in the school. So she was a sister of Mercy, and Mercy hospitality is very important even to us today. And so she would welcome parents into her classroom after they dropped off their children. And she would listen to them and find out what did they need and actually responded to those needs. And that's what we do even today, 30 years later. But at that time,
Go ahead.
At that time, most of the parents were Spanish speakers. They were mainly from Puerto Rico at that time, dropping off their children in this school where they were learning English. And so for those parents, learning the English language is important. So Mercy Center started first by offering those language classes to help them to learn the English language, but also recognizing that they needed things like parenting skills and how to deal with like their landlord and food insecurity. And all of those things were important to the sister at that time. And as the staff grew, those were the kinds of needs that were addressed. We eventually moved.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about a lot of those services that you provide in our community, and how did the pandemic affect some of those services?
So we still provide English as a second language. So we have 2,200 participants, people we serve over the course of the year. Most of them come to us to learn the English language. So they're in our ESOL program in adult education. But then from there, they also learn that we also do family development, where we help them continue to do parenting skills. We provide a youth program. We have after school, Saturday reading, opportunities for summer camp, things that, for the family. Mercy Center started as an organization that served women, because primarily those were mothers who were coming into Sister Mary Ann's class, in the very beginning. But over the years, it's expanded. We even say as part of our mission statement that it is the women and their families that we serve. And that's what we continue to do today. We also provide social services and, immigrant services. Those days in the beginning, they were mainly Puerto Ricans from the neighborhood. But as the neighborhood has changed and more immigrants have come in, we have changed those offerings as well. We now presently serve participants from 51 different countries. Many still Spanish speaking, many still Hispanic, but for the most part, we have people of all nationalities and cultures that we serve and that we celebrate.
Yeah. You have some things coming up in the future. I heard about something coming up in June. Tell us about
it. So our budget is $3.6 million. And we don't charge for any class, program, service. All of that we have to fundraise basically to do.
Yeah.
And we have foundations and corporations that support us. We certainly have city contracts and state contracts to be able to provide those services. But we need to do a lot of fundraising as well. So we rely heavily on individual donors who will support us. And then we have events. And so the event that you're referring to is our golf outing, which is coming up in June, and it's outside. So it'll be, lots of room for social distancing. And we start early in the morning. We play golf. We give them a breakfast to start the day. They go out and play golf. We give them refreshments during the game. And then we come together on the patio outdoors for a barbecue to celebrate. And we're actually recognizing one of our longtime board members who has been very instrumental in supporting Mercy Center. So we'll be recognizing and honoring him at this outing. We also have traditionally done a Super Bowl raffle.
Before that Super Bowl raffle, I just got to remind you to just let myself and the executive director, Mike Nobby, know about There's a
Oh,
couple
sure.
of us that play golf.
I will send you your personal invitation. I will send you.
And we can participate in that Super Bowl raffle.
Well, the Super Bowl raffle we were not able to do this year because of the pandemic. So instead, we're actually doing a raffle for tickets to the U.S. Open, which we know is local and we think will be, very successful. So that's our next fundraiser coming up, after that. So we do have to rely on these kinds of things so that we can provide the services, that we do. But we're very committed to the neighborhood. We actually have one of our staff members, Alba Torres, who is still with us 30 years later. She was one of those original parents, that came in to meet with Sister Mary Ann and also then encouraged other parents to come in, for coffee and tea, that Mercy hospitality, but then also to learn about what services Mercy Center could provide.
Excellent. That's fantastic. How do people get involved if they want to reach out to you? What do they have to do?
So our website is mercycenterbronx.org. We have opportunities to support us on there. Because we have to basically buy and provide everything ourselves, we also look for donations in kind. So we have a wish list that people could certainly support us by, contributing to that. They can make a donation. They can support our events. I mentioned those two events. We also do a big gala. We had a virtual gala in December, but our next one is actually scheduled for next spring, when we hope that we can all be back together in person and really celebrate together.
Yes. Well, we have to continue to stay apart now so that we can come back together and do things like that. Steve, I'm going to give you a personal connection to our audience. I want you to reach out to them and let them know what you need as far as, whether it be volunteerism or funds to help you continue doing the things that you guys are doing in our community.
Great. So Mercy Center did start basically volunteer-based. So Sister Mary Ann Durr was the founder. She was the first employee, but we did begin relying on volunteers to help provide those services. And to this day, we still have a great number of volunteers who help us. But beyond that, we've gotten to the point as we've grown over the years, we have 2 sites now. In addition to the one on 145th Street, we have a second site on 149th. As we've grown, our needs to be able to provide the services have grown as well. And so our staff has grown. And we're almost up to 50 people now. So we've had to rely more heavily on staff in addition to the volunteers. And our staff have grown. We're almost at 50 at this point. So that means providing salaries and benefits and all for up to 50 people. So we really do need financial support. So any of your listeners, your viewers who would like to support us, I encourage them to go to our website, mercycenterbronx.org, and learn about us, click on the donate button, and we would be very grateful for any support that you could give.
Thank you so much. He's the executive director, Steve Stritch, Mercy Center. Thank you guys for all the work that you're doing, rolling up your sleeves in the community and taking care of our community in a fantastic way. Thank you, Steve.
Thank you, Bob.
All right. We'll take a break right here. We've got more open on the way next.